Hi everyone, welcome to BMC Global Live Al Hilal Health World. Today we have Dr. Shiju Thomas with us. He is MPPS MD in Pediatrics and he is working with Al Hilal Medical Center, Salmabad. Hi doctor, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Good. Doctor, today I would like to discuss with you some problems which I have seen around. What are the common diseases that you are seeing in your daily practices nowadays other than corona?
That's a very good question actually. Now, other than corona, the normal diseases that I see nowadays, especially because of these weather changes, are I've seen quite a bit of cases of gastroenteritis where children come with a little bit of fever, a little bit of vomiting and loose motions. They may be last maybe up to 2 to 3 days, and just symptomatic treatment, meaning basic treatment is just given for it. Then the other diseases that I've seen are common flu, which is also a viral disease, and it basically is happening because of these weather changes, and these are the simple cases that come nowadays.
Okay. Doctor, nowadays most of the children are stuck at home. Most of them are using media devices also. Is there any problem related to that? Can you elaborate it?
Yeah, now because of this corona season, children are stuck at home, they do not go to schools. I mean, schools are basically closed because they do not want to spread the disease. And a lot of Zoom classes and all such activities are going on the media. Now, up to a few months back, I was, whenever parents come to me and they talk about this, I would place a strict advice for them to stop these media things, to reduce it to at least 1 or 2 hours per day. Now, because of this corona, that is totally impossible. So what I do tell the parents is that, other than these Zoom classes, you should definitely restrict the use of media or devices. And one more thing that I do tell the parents is basically switch it on to bigger screens, like use a laptop, or if you can connect those Zoom classes to a television, use a television, but do not use it on mobile phones. See, basically the problems that I see may happen are now a few children do come with headaches, that is of constant stress by using these mobiles, or rather the smaller screens are the ones which causes all the problem. There's a lot of radiation that comes from this, all that activity, all that movement on mobile phones. Now the problem with mobile phones is that on a small screen, a lot of movement going on. Like it may not be in your Zoom classes, but on any video as such, there are a lot of movement going on. And the eyes have to quickly adjust its vision and perception to that small movement. So if it's a big screen, your eyes are basically taking a longer time to move. All right, and there's a sort of a relaxation phase there. On a small screen, what happens is, since it's very small, it moves very quickly. And because of that, eye strain is a big factor. More children having to tend to use spectacles. They have to wear glasses. They have something called as refractive errors. All those things are a big problem right now, and include nutrition, lack of nutrition along with it. They get dry eyes, they get infection in the eyes. A lot of things are there. Now, another problem with media devices, more usage of media devices, is children do not interact with anything else, basically. Right? Children do not interact with the parents. Children, right now, because of restrictions, children are not interacting with the outside world itself. You do not meet anybody other than your parents and your immediate relatives. Now, because of that, they lose touch of what is actual reality and what they see at home. The world outside is not what you see inside your house. So children lose the sense of connection with the outside world, basically. Anybody and everybody is a stranger to them. They do not know how to talk with them. They do not know how to interact with people. So all that has become a problem. Now, in such a situation, what I would generally tell the parents is, now parents are also stuck at home. A lot of parents are doing, work from home sort of an atmosphere. And as soon as these Zoom classes are over, I the parents, please spend time with your children. Now you're getting time. Earlier the thing was you have to go here, go there. Now for the parents who are working from home, you're getting more time to interact with your children, So interact with them. Take off these media devices as soon as your classes are over. Do small, tell children to do small things at home. Like a small chores where it may be as simple as just folding your clothes, making your bed, or helping the parents in the kitchen, cooking. So there are a lot of creative things that you can actually do as a family. As a parent and a child, you can definitely involve your children in these kind of things. I believe these are the only ways that are possible right now to help these children come out of that. One day the children are going to step outside. After all this corona, children are going to step outside. So, it shouldn't be like they're stepping out into a totally new world. They should know how to interact. They should not lose that touch of interacting with other human beings. They should know, basically how to treat a human being well is the only thing that, parents should be more worried about right now. Reduce the media time other than, what you're using on Zoom classes and all that. After that, what you have to do is interact more with the parents. Parents spend time with the children, doing a lot of things at home. Whatever is available with whatever sort of thing you can do. Simple things. And that would be more than enough, I guess.
Oh, that's great. I felt what doctors said will be beneficial to parents and children also. And doctor, what are the roles of parents in development of their children?
Yeah, parents have a very big role in the the development of a character development of a child, especially. Now, as a parent myself, I believe in a lot of morals and principles that should be put forward to children, should be taught to children. And that starts from a very early age. Nowadays, what parents think is, they're very small, so by the age of 10, we'll start teaching them. But the actual fact is that nowadays, the children of today, they mature at a much faster age. They know a lot more things by the age of 5. So I believe that parents should start teaching these things at a very, very early age. We should forget the fact that they are really small children who are helpless. We should encourage them to do more things. Now, for example, at home, whenever you're at home, we include them to do things along with us. Another important thing of what a parent should be doing is basic morals of what we used to follow as a family. First thing would be, one of those principles is basic sitting at a dining table or around for a meal together without the use of media devices. That seems to be a very old-fashioned technique, but trust me, those old-fashioned techniques have brought out a lot of good character in children. Children understand the hierarchy that goes on in a family. Children understand what respect is, and all these things come into play when children are taught the correct way. Another important issue that parents face nowadays is when parents are not able to control their children. All right, children are excessively stubborn, is what the parents say. You tell them to do this, and they turn exactly the opposite, and they do exactly the opposite. Now, what I feel is that's because disciplinary actions are not maintained in families nowadays. Everything is let go as though it is just an act of just being childish sort of thing. Parents feel that's just my child being very naughty or something like that. What I believe is there is a certain limit for all that. All right, there is a limit for being mischievous, there is a limit for being naughty, but at the same time, what discipline is has to be specifically taught to your children. If I'm going to be telling my child to do a specific thing, and my child goes and does something else, he's like, I'm absolutely not going to listen. And a correction needs to be done there. Now, a correction may be in the form a correction may be in the form of a punishment, whether you have to scold him, whether you have to advise him, talk to him. It all depends on the particular situation. Now, imagine that my child is with his friends and he's like, "Dad, I cannot do this right now," sort of a thing, and he turns away. The optimum, the perfect thing to do would be not to scold him in front of his friends. Rather than that, it would be better if it is done in private. So parents have a big role here. Parents have to understand that all situations are not supposed to be just let go like that and the children will learn on their own. No, that is not going to happen. It is up to us to teach them this is not the correct way to do it and this is the correct way to do it. And a lot about how the parents interact with each other is also an important being an important role model for the children. We have to understand that these small minds are absorbing everything that happens around them, all right, and their brains absorb things at a much faster rate, and they've got a lot of absorption power, and because of that children learn everything. So we have to be very careful about what we do at home, the kind of life we lead in front of our children, because that is what they're going to be practicing when they step out into the world. And I feel there is no use that we trying to teach them something after the age of 15 or after they've crossed into that particular age group where they basically become rebels at home. There's no use trying to teach them that. So everything has to be inculcated or taught to them and advised to them or shown to them up beyond a particular, before a particular age. And that I believe is somewhere around 4 to 8, 10. That would be the perfect time, and that's the time that they can be actually corrected in many ways. Beyond a particular age, it is very difficult to correct children, and it becomes a it becomes a problem later in life if children are not taught at a particular age itself.
Doctor, as you talked about stubborn behavior, what are the other behavior problems in children that you are commonly seeing?
Yeah, I have seen quite a few number of cases where parents come with complaints that, first thing is children being very stubborn. They do not listen to what the parents say. The second thing is children are often expressed or treated as being hyperactive children. Now that's a very misunderstood term. They basically, parents come with the complaint that the teacher has told that my child is hyperactive, or he's got attention deficit syndrome, or they use these complicated terms, and what it does to the parents is drives them really, the parents become really depressed. Even you wouldn't bear it if your child is being labeled as a hyperactive child. And when they enter my OPD, I generally make the parents sit, and I'd expect the child, right now if it is a 5-year-old child, I will not expect the child to come and sit exactly on the chair as I tell him immediately. I gently want them to explore the room, explore what all things are there in the room, what all stickers are there in the room, and that is what I consider a normal child to be. Now, a child who goes and sits on a chair and just sits in one corner, that I believe there is something wrong and that needs to be investigated. Now, a child who keeps moving and climbing the examination table and all that, that's all very normal for a child to do. And when I ask the parents about why they feel that, no, it's because he cannot concentrate, it's because he cannot sit anywhere, I would definitely tell them that that's the normal nature of a child. The nature of a child is that there's so much of energy bubbling inside him or her for that matter, that they cannot sit. They have to release that energy. They keep doing something naughty or mischief, that's a very normal thing. So I believe nowadays children are being very wrongly labeled as being hyperactive. There is a totally different spectrum of diseases which I believe are very wrongly assessed right now. And I would definitely tell the parents that being mischievous and being naughty and being a little hyperactive is the childish part of a human being. So it is at this age that it is perfectly good to do this. And it's not that they are being hyperactive, and it's not considered as a disease unless it is specifically proved. So do not get depressed basically that my child was labeled as a hyperactive child, and because of that we are having it's a big thought, it's a big headache for us. That sort of thing should actually be cleared with the parents. It's a very big thing. It's a very common problem that I face. I have a lot of parents coming and telling me that. But after observing these children, it looks pretty normal. Children are pretty normal, because after some time, after they've done all the exploring inside the room, I'll just tell them to just come and sit, and they follow all the orders very clearly. They're very comfortable with me examining them, and it becomes a very easy. So I do not believe that they are hyperactive children.
That's great, doctor. And I really like the way that you are interacting with children when they come to your OPD. And most of the parents have in mind that their children are hyperactive. I also believe that their misunderstanding is also clear. Okay, thank you so much, doctor. Today we are going to wind up the episode. See you next episode with Dr. Shiju Thomas. And before that, don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel and follow our Facebook page. Till then, Reshma Rajesh signing off. Bye-bye.